Good day once again, ladies and gentlemen, on my third presentation, a student at Val University of Technology enrolling for a postgraduate diploma in higher education. I'm going to present to you one of the topics in the module called Innovative Student Learning in Context in Higher Education. We normally or usually refer to it as Innovative Student Learning. We can move to the subsequent slide, whereby we are going to take a closer look at the introductory statement. On this particular slide, as I've indicated earlier on, that we are going to deal with the introductory statement. The first bullet reads as follows. The module deals with psychological and social factors impacting on student learning. And then, yes, indeed, there are some psychological, social factors, as well as internal and external factors that are serving as a barrier on student success. The module outlines and compares earlier as well as recent learning theories, learning styles, and learning dimensions within the context of teaching. Bullet number 3. Some professional skills that are improved include the student's ability to demonstrate knowledge and awareness of essential individual difference among students with regard to their learning styles, and to also critically reflect on how special needs in the mainstream of higher education can be accommodated by the learning facilitator as well as by the institution of learning. This particular introductory statement has been extracted from the VUT website, whereby they are giving you a brief overview about each and every module that you are going to enroll for. The topic that I would like to take a closer look at it is challenges or barriers that impact on student success, and then I have outlined 5 of those challenges or barriers. The first one being the poor socio-economic background, the second one being poor academic performance, the third one being the NSFAS funding, the fourth one, affordability of higher education, the last one, time management, workload, and other expectations. These are the barriers that I'm going to present in the subsequent slide, and then I will start with the first one, which is a poor socio-economic background. Bullet number 1, under the above heading, research studies have shown that socio-economic background is intensely connected with the educational ambitions and aspirations of parents for their respective children in society. Socio-economic condition is clearly defined as the situation of a family or individual in an organizational hierarchy of the society, especially in accessing or controlling wealth, reputation, and authority. The essential technique towards the final means funding allocated to schools, colleges, and universities is a result of peers on both learners and students, and the socio-economic background which they originate from, to be specific. Some researchers have presented that such changes such as culture, ethnicity, quality of education, socio-economic status has a meaningful influence on the intelligence of students, academic performance, and the success of educational institutions. In moving to the subsequent slide because of the time constraints. The poor academic performance. Research has indicated that poor academic performance will emerge, particularly when university students are unable to familiarize themselves with the teaching methods applied by their respective lecturers. It is of paramount importance for us students to familiarize yourself with the manner in which our lecturers are delivering the content, their teaching methods. Universities offer students several academic opportunities that will enable them to complete different academic qualifications and ultimately graduate. Bullet number 3. Opportunities offered to students include, amongst other things, cognitively mastering the course content, the ability to handle the workload on study materials, effective and efficient time management, and so on. Even though time management, it is still one of those barriers that are impacting on the success of the students. The bullet number 3 out here in South Africa, it is the NSFAS funding. Yes, indeed, at some point they need to take credit, but at some point there is whereby they are failing students. South African students who are not covered in NSFAS funding tend to make plans by applying for loans at financial institutions, banks, or depend on finding part-time jobs or any form of contributions to reimburse their studies. However, not everyone qualifies for loans at financial institutions or finds casual jobs, and some do not have any form of financial support as they come from poor families. University education tend to be expensive for the majority of financially underprivileged students. There are additional costs, there are additional non-tuition costs, such as access to the internet, the transport cost, accommodation cost, prescribed and recommended textbook. Students are struggling with the internet, but pertaining to the transport cost, since nowadays the majority of courses or programs at universities are being implemented online, there's no need for students to travel from their respective homes or places to the universities on the majority of their courses, except those that are doing practicals. And then with regard to the accommodation cost, we saw previously or in one of the news that some students were struggling with the accommodation at universities, and then some of them had to sleep in libraries, some of them had to sleep under the bridges. Moving to the subsequent slide. Affordability of higher education, which it has been emphasized in the previous slide that university education tends to be expensive for poor students. Research has indicated that enrolling at institutions of higher learning, universities in South Africa, costs a tremendous amount of money. Some groups of students cannot afford to pay university fees. However, some prosperous or affluent students can afford to pay and ultimately settle university fees before graduation. An increasing number of students protest in many different universities across the country serves as a clear indication that fees are not affordable for a large number of students. Bullet number 4, only rich families or individuals can afford, and fast contributing to a high level of inequality. In moving to the subsequent slide because of a time constraint. Time management, workload, and other expectations. The predominance of three challenges among students: effective time management, the huge workload, and other additional expectations is in line with a large-scale research studies. Those are some of the barriers that impact on student success. In addition to the above, it has been outlined that students have a burden or pressure from apparent prospects or anticipations of their respective families and universities. The pressure to succeed to not only revolves around academic life, but also expands to social, individual, and career lives. And then, having spoken of the career lives, this week I have a tremendous amount of work whereby I'm working. It is a lot of submissions. At the same time, again, when one comes back, he had to deal with assisting his children about the homework. In addition to that, you'll find out that I do have the assignment that is due on the weekend, and then it is a very strenuous exercise which can in some instances impact on my success, but I will devise some means of ensuring that I submit this particular assignment on time. In moving to the subsequent slide. The subsequent slide, it is the end of the presentation. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for your effort to listen to this particular MS PowerPoint presentation. Thank you very much. God bless.